Thank God I didn't fart. Oh God.
Hey, everybody.
Oh God.
Lindsey, do you want to say hello first, considering that you're the
What's going
I'm
on
the guy
there?
that farted. How's it going?
As a
My name's
fart.
Lindsey.
So that was an
I voted.
actual air coming out there. Okay, go ahead. Yeah,
an actual air?
yeah. An actual burst of air flying through
We
the
call it a fluff.
anal canal. What?
No, it's a boof.
Oof. Yeah, that's a drinking game.
We are live, everybody.
Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome to November.
God.
What is November 2nd through 4th? I think
No,
was
it's the
the
6th. Yeah. No, but the dates. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, the Friday through Sunday is what, the 2nd through 4th?
You got that right. It's on the marquee.
All right, so that's the weekend we're talking about and projecting the weekend upcoming. Dino, say hello before we step further.
Hello, one and all. I'm Dino from the Late Late Horror Show.
And Peter may or
Do we invoke him?
Is Peter here?
And here I am.
There
Peter
he is.
will be
Okay.
here.
Let me add Peter here, but go ahead, continue.
All right, so he's got to fix your box, Peter.
Hey!
Whoa.
That didn't take long.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
No, we didn't know if you were going to make it. It's fine.
I was literally at a church thing and people were praying, and all of a sudden my phone's like, Dino's calling, and I'm like, crap.
Sorry. I figured I'd add you to the
okay.
call, so you know.
What, bro? You don't want to like live Skype with us in church? Like, is that not cool?
Oh no.
That
I was
not kosher?
actually a small group with a bunch of teenage guys who were all having their eyes shut at the time, so they're all like, they heard a buzz on my phone and they all kind of looked at me. I'm just like, nothing at all.
Nothing's going on here.
It was funny.
Something's vibrating in that guy's pocket, mommy.
No, it was
So-
on the table. That's what they all looked.
Peter, say hello.
Hey everybody, I'm Peter, bearded movie guy. Don't check out my channel. I got new stuff. It's all good.
Are we definitely live? Because I can't find myself.
Yeah.
No, we're live.
watching
Yeah, I'm
us
watching it
live.
right now.
Yeah, no, Zion's was watching you. So.
Thank you, Zion. Hi, Zion.
Box. Hopefully he stays. Let me get rid of that text.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's-
we're good.
I can go everywhere but more.
There
Interesting.
we go.
All right. What a crazy week.
She
Yeah.
just yelled it. I like how my name is still over my face. I mean,
Yeah,
witness
I got it
present.
out
There
now. Okay.
Hey, Embo.
And again, let me tell Peter here real quick. I'm trying it out again.
It looks good.
If things goof up again, I'll just continue to shrink our windows. But people, I'm trying. We want to get Peter's head as small as possible in this little TV set. So anyways, okay, go on, CP. What's going on?
Yeah, so the weekend that was quite interesting.
If
A
you
big
say
a big
Oh,
a big wash
I got
over.
1 point. Oh no, you got.
Yeah.
You guys got 2 points each.
Peter,
Yeah.
they both got that one wrong, and we both got it right. Number 3, nobody's fool. Boom.
Yeah. Yeah, a weird weekend because I looked. I've been up Dino's ass for what, two or 3 weeks now, Dino.
Yep.
And I looked for a second. I was like, oh, I have 1 and 2, and Dino only has 1. I completely just omitted the bottom 2. And then I'm looking Monday morning, and I'm like, fucking Dino had fucking Stars Born at 4th. That's bullshit. So
You know?
we all had
Yeah.
places that we had points from. It's really quite funny.
Okay, one
That's
more
funny.
thing. Oh, there we go. I fixed the volume on Peter, so no echo should be from Peter. Okay, we're good. Go on.
Yeah, so that was
Yeah, good thing I put star in number 4, right? Yeah.
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 It's- But Nutcracker, I don't know why I didn't put that a little higher. I should have known better. But anyways. Ugh.
I don't know why I thought it would be number 1, but you know.
I think it's funny that we all fucked up with Halloween too.
Yeah,
We all
right.
had Halloween in our top 4 in
It
different
was big.
spots.
Oh, it dipped big time, man.
Halloween was 1, 2, 3, 4 between us. Lindsay had Halloween in 1. Dino had Halloween in 2. I had it in 3, and Peter had it 4. And it was none of those.
Wow, that's actually really funny.
Dropped another, what, almost 50%? So, yeah.
He dropped 60%, 60 something. So
Mm,
the holiday came, and now kiss that movie goodbye.
yeah.
Yeah.
For-
Still haven't seen it.
I think I'm getting real close to the global total and the domestic total. But anyways, that's another show. But go ahead.
Oh, right.
Brian had it way out there. Remember the numbers? But anyways,
Yeah.
Didn't someone say what's not going to make 100 million?
What's not going to make 100 million?
Halloween wouldn't make 100 million. Didn't someone say that?
Oh yeah, that's Cecil from the Horror.
All right.
He's way wrong already. It's already over.
Hey, Bearded Slasher's in the chat.
Hey!
Either way I went. I can't. So I'm going to need you guys to somebody to man the chat because for some stupid fucking reason I can't find it.
Don't worry. So we got 2 people in there so far, and Anton, I probably pronounced that wrong, is not a fan of Queen. No, he loves the band, but he did not like the movie.
Hey.
Yeah.
Really?
And you seem to be of that opinion too, CP. Is that correct?
I like the band quite a bit. I've seen a documentary, a British documentary, where they kind of go full bore into mostly Freddie Mercury and his interesting lifestyle of the 1980s.
Lots of cats.
Yeah. Instead of cats, replace it with gay sex. That's pretty much what this documentary was. But yeah, I had liked the. It was fine. It was just a disappointment when you know what really happened. Tell us what you really enjoyed about it, Lindsey.
Well, first of all, I think the last 20 minutes of the movie are just breathtaking.
Oh, the Live Aid concert.
Yeah, the Live Aid concert at the end where they actually just recreate amazing. And after I left the theater, I went and actually watched footage from the Live Aid concert, and they really created it down to a T. It was pretty impressive. Or at least from a couple of watches anyway, it seems like they did. So I think that's really good, and I think that elevates the movie a lot. It's not perfect. I think the first act moves so weirdly fast, it's slow.
Yeah.
It's an interesting phenomenon. And if you don't know that Freddie was gay, I almost feel like the gay stuff, it doesn't come completely out of left field, but because he's a very eccentric, very flamboyant person, but it's not exactly teased very much before it's suddenly and he's looking at guys.
Yeah, he glances at a guy at the truck stop, and you're like,
yeah.
Is that all we're getting?
So they were very vague on the subject, or?
No. I mean,
he kissed some dudes.
Okay. I mean, they were vague on it up to a point, and then it became not explicit, but it was very much for a chunk of the second act. It very much was about that, and it should have been about that more. It should have been, and there were definitely a lot of you could feel the fact that this is a movie that was in production for 10 years.
Wow.
Something like that. Because there's parts of it that definitely feel like they were added in after the fact. They were shot in such an interesting vacuum from the rest of the movie. That it does kind of feel like they were kind of put in there. And while they're putting in characters or people who are probably very significant to Freddie Mercury, it just feels like if they're going to put them in there, they should have given them more screen time. If you kind of know who I mean, CP?
Yeah. You're talking about
the guy who kind of comes in at the end.
The guy who was there watching Live Aid. Yeah. That is one of the gripes that I have with the movie. It feels very. I don't want to say rushed. It just feels like
the first act is, but the rest of it slows down.
Yeah, it just any relationship or conflict for that matter just doesn't feel earned because, even when they kick him out of the band, all they really do is it's just him late to a couple of rehearsals, and then
he fired the guy.
Right.
Not to get into spoilers, but
right, but it just you never really. Felt a grift between him and the band. It was just I don't know. It felt extremely safe. And
the other thing to remember is this movie is another one that changed directors. So I'm not excusing it or saying that that makes it a good, but it's just something to keep in mind. The movie was a production hell movie, so maybe part of the reason why I like it so much is because I thought it was going to be way worse, and so the fact that it actually ended up being something I really enjoyed, and also I think that the performance really carries it too.
Yeah, I heard
Rami Malek's
Rami Malek is great from everything I've heard.
Absolutely.
If it wasn't for him,
He's
the
not
movie
the
would be a
problem
lot.
anyway.
Like the thing I talk about the last 20 minutes being so good are partially because of him. Like he's putting so much into those like songs that he's singing the last 20 minutes. I bawled. I turned 30 watching this movie and I was crying my eyes out for the first like 30 minutes of my 30s. Like,
we had this discussion last time. So is this a Queen movie, a Freddie Mercury movie, or a little bit of both?
Ooh.
It definitely feels like a movie that was supposed to be about Freddie Mercury, and then the band came in and said we want more screen time.
It feels 55-45 Freddie at the very least.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's normal for like most, like most band movies. The lead singer is the main attraction of most
like
bands.
The Doors. The Doors is basically Jim Morrison. So.
You know what I loved is the guy who played Brian May in the movie, the guitarist. Holy crap, does he look like him in real life? Like maybe it's just the wig, but he really looks like him.
Right. That hair. He's always had that hair, Brian May. Let me ask. I don't know how into Queen or how aware of Queen Peter and Dino are, but Freddie Mercury was notoriously debaucherous in the 80s for his lifestyle, which he died of AIDS. Yeah. Would you rather a movie where they play it safe and avoid that, or would you want it to get deep into like the real shit that happens?
God, coming
Dino,
from
you go first, Dino. Go.
Yeah, coming from me, man, I go big or go home. I mean, I'd rather have the not safe route and the raw, everything just raw, just what really happened. No matter how bad it is. I mean, come on, people are learning lessons from this kind of stuff. So, put it out there and, but again, there's limitations on all these people that you got the band poking their fingers in it. But I would have rather seen, the wilder side, the more raw, cut of this kind of movie. So, in my opinion.
Peter?
For me, I'm a huge Queen fan. Like I love, like they're in my top 5 bands of all time. Freddie Mercury was a genius. If it's a Freddie Mercury biopic, I want them to be so. Like I talked to someone about this today. I watched your thing, you and Emily talking about how it seemed kind of like a sanitized film, like a plain version of the film, like you might see on like a made-for-TV, like they're showing it on TV, they've cut out the bad stuff.
Yeah, and exactly.
It's kind of like watching The Wolf of Wall Street. If they'd made it a PG-13 cut, right? Like so, imagine The Wolf of Wall Street PG-13 cut.
20 minutes.
So it's like a lot of the stuff he does, like the whole plane ride where it's like people are having sex everywhere and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, do I want to see that stuff normally? No, I don't. I'll be honest, I don't. But when you're talking about debauchery, which in Wolf of Wall Street, that guy was living the life of like super debauchery, right? You can't show that realistically without showing the life, right? So if this is the Freddie Mercury biopic where they're being authentic, I would much rather them be authentic. If this is a Queen movie, because I like the band Queen, if it's about the band and not just Freddie Mercury, but Freddie Mercury being the front man in that band who draws more attention than anyone else in the band, which quite happens often in most bands.
Especially in his case, yes.
In his case, and Jim Morrison's case too, and all that stuff. Even though, like I mentioned last week, Jim Morrison couldn't do a lick of music. Like, the band helped him, propped him up on that. He was a genius at writing, and his voice was amazing, but he musically was lost. He had no clue what to do. Freddie Mercury was not like that. Freddie Mercury was very smart in music and stuff, but he was so flamboyant and so just a huge presence, right? Like, even if you do a movie about the band, it's going to be more focused on him than it is the rest of the band. But if this movie is supposed to be about Queen, then I'm okay with them not going super intense on his lifestyle, because it's not supposed to be about him. It's supposed to be about the band. His lifestyle would play a small part in that, but so in that case, like if I want to watch the movie. I haven't seen it yet. If it was supposed to be Queen, I'm okay with what they've done. If it was supposed to be, this is a real, true intense look at Freddie Mercury, then no, then it sounds very sanitized.
Yeah. Well, and the problem is the movie doesn't know which one it wants to be, too.
Yeah, that's the thing. If they propped it up and said, this is about the band, don't get us wrong, we love Freddie Mercury and he is the main character, but it's not just about him, it's about the guys who are with him and what they made, then that's different.
Yeah. I gotta say, the Anto W in the chat, I guess that's how you say it, I don't think he likes the movie very well at all. He even referenced a Hallmark movie, so
Oh, I wouldn't say it's that delicate.
That's a little far. Like there's definitely he makes out with a couple dudes. He should have made out with more, but he does make out with a couple dudes.
He pinches a dude's ass.
He does pinch a dude's ass.
You can pinch an ass on the Hallmark Channel, can't
sweaty
you?
Guys dancing on each other.
Yeah, I mean they showed a Coke table too. Like they didn't show anybody doing any Coke. They showed a Coke table. Did they show somebody doing Coke? Am I?
Oh, these not explicitly.
So again, it feels very like Wolf of Wall Street. Yeah. Like it's that movie gets nuts because they chose to show the reality of what his life was like. And this, from everything I'm hearing from you guys and from other people, like I one of the guys in my group, he's 15, I guess. Yeah, he's 15. Loves Queen. Very musical guy. Like he's very talented musically already. So, and he loves Queen's music. And so he was like, I loved it. It was great. He goes, it tells the story of Queen. And I'm like, from what I've heard, it tells the story, but it tells a very kind of sanitized, light story. And he goes, oh, well, to me, that's all I was looking for.
Well,
so,
if the thing is to have it be the story of Queen, spoiler, they end it at Live Aid.
Which is weird. Yeah, I said that. Like I said, why'd they end it at Live Aid, where the band continued on
right
for years after Live Aid.
Yeah, they made a bunch of albums after that, and like to have a nice ending, you have them release that album that they released in the face of Freddie dying. Like he died in '91, and they released an album like right around that time. Like that should have been like the nice ending. Look, we powered through this. We were able to come together as a band. Freddie even managed to finish this album right before he went. I mean, that's the band. The band managed to overcome this thing. Like that's what I was talking about. Like anything that happens just doesn't feel earned. It's just like, oh, by the way, Freddie Mercury died in '91 and blah. Like that, you get a title screen at the end. Yeah. It's just very, very strange for filmmaking. It's strange.
So for the two that watched it, I mean, was there really any point to this movie then?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It's about how incredibly lonely he was. Like the movie opens with "Find Me Somebody to Love." It's the very first song like they play, and as cheesy as that is, like that is really kind of what he's doing throughout the movie. It's really about himself, like about his own self-identity, and like it should have gone into it more. I really wish it had, especially because it tells with like how he denied his family history and stuff like that in order to create a new persona, because he doesn't, because it is all a metaphor for him dealing with him coming to terms with the fact that he was gay. And
which was bi, by the way, which they kind of avoid too.
Yeah, see, that's the thing. Like I never thought about Freddie Mercury being bi until you mentioned it last week, and I was like, I guess he technically was. Like I don't know. Growing up, whenever I liked Queen music, people go, well, he's gay. And I'd be like,
oh, jeez.
Okay.
Yeah.
And like as a kid, like that was like, what am I supposed to do with that? It's like, okay.
We're supposed to respond like that.
Because like you guys know, I'm Christian, right? So you get all that connotation that people go, well, he's gay and you shouldn't be listening to that. And I'm like,
oh, I heard that stuff all growing up too. I mean, that's the first thing out of your mouth, and it's like, yeah, what?
What's that have to do with the music? Because it's like I don't hear it. And then they're like, well, he's singing about gay things, and it's like, okay, but I like the music. It's like, I'm not gay, but it doesn't mean I can't like the music, right? But like, so I never really thought Freddie Mercury was bi, because like it never even dawned on me, and because I I don't know a ton about it. It's like I didn't know he was Indian until a little while ago.
Oh, Pakistani.
Like
his real name's Farouk, right?
Yeah, like I had no clue.
Shoot.
Like to me, I like this is probably racist in some way. I just thought he was a British guy, like
He had the teeth all right.
white guy. You know, it's like, he seems.
Well, I love that line in the movie. Why did you fix your teeth? Because I don't want to stand out.
So like you know, I love Queen. I don't know a ton about Queen. Like there's a lot of bands I love that I don't know tons about.
Yeah, sure,
it's like,
sure.
You know, it's like I just appreciate their music. Like the Doors is a bit different. I actually did projects on them and like I really got into them. But like, so I can name all the members of the Doors like off the top of my head, no problem. I can't name all the members of Queen. Like I know Brian May, but past that I'm like I don't know the other two guys' names.
That's why when it comes to these rock
One of them was
bands
a
and
dentist.
stuff, I love documentaries. The Anto, I guess that's his name.
Anto W.
Yeah, he mentioned something about they should only make documentaries for dead movie stars or rock stars and stuff,
Well,
which I don't
you can't
agree
do a
with.
documentary
But
yeah.
I don't agree with that at all. But my point is, I do, when you want to dig into the history of a band or a rock star, documentaries are great. I love them.
Yeah.
And usually they're always good, you know, somewhat. So, but when you start digging into like a movie like this, and you get the backstory, and they're taking a direction one way or the other. And if you like it, you like it. You don't, you don't. You know. So I understand where you both are coming from, Lindsey and CP, and what it is. But hey, it made 51 million, right?
Yeah, and you know what? It is like it's a family movie about Queen. I think it's a risque family movie about Queen, where you know what, good for everybody.
Like that again. If it's about Queen and not just Freddie Mercury, then that makes sense. It totally does, and I could see with what I've heard that the guys in Queen were involved in the making of the film. They're definitely going to want to have input about like, well, it's not just him, it's us. Like we did this, not him. Like it wasn't Freddie Mercury. It wasn't like, see, that's the difference. David Bowie was David Bowie. He had band behind him, but no one tried to take any credit.
But he wasn't under pressure.
Yeah.
Get out now, leave, never come back forever.
But
Sorry.
But that's the big difference, right? Like David Bowie was like. There was no one else, right? Like, although he had musicians backing him up, but Queen is a band. Just like, you know, it's
little different.
It's different.
Like it's definitely. I'm not gonna try and defend some of like the stuff that I left out, but I think like the last 20 minutes in the scene where he comes out to marry his like fiance, or maybe they're married at that point. I can't quite remember, but those were two really. It's just some really, really good individual moments peppered throughout way too many montages. And I think about the third montage, and I was like, okay, guys, you can stop at the montages now. But I think there was 4. So, like,
yeah. How long was the movie? Was the movie even 2 hours?
2:15.
Yeah.
With credits, though.
Yeah, with credits.
So.
See, again, the montages, the homages to movies and stuff like that in the past, like with the Halloween, the newer one and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. I think us older people, even though, you know, we know a lot about the movies or the characters and stuff like that. So we're going to dig a little deeper into like that kind of stuff. Whereas the younger audience going to see these movies for the first time don't know that, so they're just going to get a whole different thing, whereas those little things kind of irritate me as a watcher, you know, and knowing, you know what I mean?
They do have a moment that I know kids won't get, but Mike Myers plays the record guy, and there's a point in the movie where he says, I want a song that people can clap to and sing to in their car. And Bohemian Rhapsody is not that song, and it's like I saw what you did there. I saw what you did there. Very
What's really
funny.
funny is I didn't recognize him.
I know. It took me a couple of scenes. I was like, wait, that is Mike Myers. He's like Johnny Depp. He's always in.
It's fun. We watched Inglourious Bastards last night for the first time.
Oh.
No, not me ever. My daughters ever. For the kids. The first
I
time
know
they
you
ever-
had.
Well, that's what when I thought we weren't doing last night, and so we were like literally about to sit down, and they were like, "Actually, we can go." And I'm like, "Crap, we're already watching the movie."
It's
Yeah,
fun.
so that's what we ended up doing, and yeah, it's like Mike Myers is in that, and I remember the first time watching it in the theater, going, "Is that Mike Myers?" It's like, really? It's like-
Hopefully he has enough
like, he
money
looks
in the
so
bank
different.
that he's able to do these, do those little things.
I
Have
think,
some
I think he's
fun.
probably doing okay.
Oh, yeah, I bet. Yeah.
Yeah,
I still want Austin Powers 4, but I bet he's doing okay.
the royalties from that alone might still be paying his bills.
Yeah,
Probably.
sure.
So it's interesting for Bohemian Rhapsody.
Mhm.
Was it? Have you guys seen the movie Backbeat?
No.
No. Okay.
Was that a Beatles?
Yeah, it's about the Beatles, but it's
I think I've
about
seen it.
the fifth member of the Beatles who left the Beatles.
Yes.
His
seen
name
it.
was Stuart Sutcliffe, and so
Right.
it's all about the Beatles before they broke big. And they had a fifth. They had two other members. They had Pete Best, who was their original drummer, and
Best
then
of the Beatles.
they kicked him out and brought in Ringo. But their other guy that was John Lennon's best friend growing up was in the band, named Stuart Sutcliffe.
Yeah.
I've never heard that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and he literally quit.
Wow, that's crazy.
His girlfriend was the one that gave them the mop top haircuts in Germany and stuff like this.
That's cool.
And so
It's a very good movie.
Yeah, it's a very good movie. It's basically he wanted to become an artist and like experimental like abstract art, and he literally is just like, I like playing with you, John, and I like doing this, but I want to do this more. And he basically said like, I wish you guys all the best of luck, and then
Walked
he
away.
left the band.
Yeah.
He walked away out of the band, and then they broke big, but it didn't.
Oops.
Well, it didn't matter. He died
Wow.
right
Oh,
afterwards.
what?
Spoiler.
Yeah. No,
It's a history
Spoiler.
thing. He dies of like a brain aneurysm. So
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
it's
God,
like
yeah.
he
That's
would have
even
died
worse.
anyways. There's nothing that would have like, so he just would have been part of the band and died. But he literally stepped out of the band. So like the band literally, he gets their album, and then shortly after dies. So, but he was happy in going to do what he wanted to do. But that was a biopic, but it was like about the Beatles, but it was more about Stuart Sutcliffe.
Right.
Right. So you see Paul and Ringo and stuff, and so, but mostly it was about him and John and their relationship and what like could have been the Beatles, like what would have happened, but that was the way they chose to go. So I highly recommend it. It's actually really well made.
It is. It's a good movie. Yeah.
Stephen Dorff plays Stuart Sutcliffe.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it's
yeah,
somewhat-
that's what it is.
Recent.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Okay.
couple of years. It's probably about 15 years ago. I don't know.
Yeah. It's about that long. Yeah.
Yeah. Good movie though. So, but I thought that because when you were talking about like that is about the Beatles, but it's more about John and Stuart, and like so it's like with Queen being like Bohemian Rhapsody being more about Queen and not just like it's always going to be about Freddie in some level because he's such a big figure, but. If it was about the band, I'm okay with it. If it was supposed to be a biopic about him, then it seems like it's wanting.
It's just it's a you know what? If it's about the band, then we shouldn't be going with Freddie Mercury when they split up, because there's a point in the movie where the band splits up, but we're with Freddie Mercury and what he's doing. Yeah. So if it's about the band, why the fuck should we care what the hell Freddie's doing?
Yeah, no, that's true.
Or you should at least be following both at the same time,
right? And it is kind of misleading because in real life they didn't really split up. They were always kind of making music. They I think the longest they went without making an album was like 3 years or something. Mm-hmm. So it's not like Yeah,
that's actually a major complaint I would lodge at the movie. It was difficult to track where we were in time.
In timelines?
Yeah.
Occasionally. Like it's just like I got lost a little bit towards the end about how much time had actually passed between certain events. It was a little unclear. But maybe that's just me.
Anto says Mike Myers helped kill Michael Myers this weekend.
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
He's throwing some good lines out there in the chat. Yeah, good going, Anto.
You're supposed to get Michael Myers masks. These are Michael Myers masks.
That was, yep. No, it's no ice cream truck, but what a great movie that was.
God, I love that. Oh God, what's his name? The guy who replaced Kevin Spacey and
fuck. Shit, I know what you're talking about. You know what? By the way, that movie's on Showtime now. That the Billionaires Boys Club.
Oh,
I was channel surfing the other night and I saw it was on. And it was like a half an hour in. I was like, oh my god, this is on TV already. Wow. But I didn't stay to watch it because I joined in the middle. Or it was just interesting. Just interesting to see that poor little movie.
By that multimillionaire.
Made it to Showtime already.
Life is such a bitch, man.
Yeah, I mean, Halloween took a big flush down the toilet this week, man. Jeez.
Wait, before we get to that, did anybody see either Nutcracker or Nobody's Fool this weekend?
Well, I definitely saw Nutcracker. No.
Did you?
No, I just fell and hurt myself. It was.
Oh, you actually cracked your nuts.
Thank you very much. No, I didn't see anything. I had a nice weekend away with my wife. Unfortunately, not in New York. But
yeah. I went back to the hospital yesterday, so it's probably better that you didn't.
Yeah, it's it's one of those things that worked out for best, even though it still sucked.
Changed the name to Show Business too.
I saw 3 movies this weekend, none of which were in the theater. So we watched a bunch of movies on Blu-ray.
Ooh, I have something fun to talk about, actually.
Ooh,
a Fathom event I saw.
Yum yum.
Uh-oh.
For it was called Peter Pan and the Never Book, I think it was called. I thought it was going to be one of those like back in the 90s like direct to video like Disney sequels, but for some reason given like a Fathom event thing. And so I was like, oh sure, yeah, I'll go see that. Sure, that sounds like delightfully bad. And I was literally the only person in the theater. But it wasn't that. It was like some knockoff, like the only reason this movie exists is because Peter Pan is in public domain. It's such an old story. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to make this. And it's this weird thing of like these like 3 little random stories in Neverland that are all over the course of the same day. But they don't make sense. It was the weirdest thing. Like the animation was terrible. Like Peter Pan was just an asshole.
It's a new release.
Jules from Pulp Fiction showed up and was like, "Say what again?"
I wish it would have made more sense. Like
this is a new release.
The sword, and the rest of the movie takes place in the same day, but the sword is just gone.
Lindsey, is it a new movie or is it an old movie?
It's just some fat. It's probably never gonna. It was like in theater for like one day. It's not a. It's just.
It's not a. So it's not a classic. It's just a ultra limited release.
It's the kids movie version of the Trump prophecy.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Not that it's political or anything like that, but it gets a little attention for one day in theaters and then it's gone and nobody ever hears about it again.
Yeah, well, so did Tommy Wiseau's latest movie did that too, Best Friends.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that though.
Do you though?
Kinda. Maybe not for the right reasons.
It's in 2 parts, and I only watched the first one, and I don't care. I don't care about the second one. Volume 2, whatever the fuck.
Volume 2.
It's pretentious. Just imagine.
Tommy Wiseau is pretentious. You don't say.
Well, no, this one's written by Greg Sestero. And it's not directed by Tommy Wiseau. He's just in it.
Who directed it? Greg Sestero?
I don't know. Greg Sestero did not direct it. Tommy Wiseau did not direct it, but Greg Sestero wrote it. That's all I know about it. I know the director is not Tommy Wiseau, unless he used a fake name.
Best Friends, right? That's what it's called?
Yeah, but the R is in fucking parentheses or fucking.
Oh God.
Yeah, it's stupid. We saw Suspiria this weekend, but I'm hoping that you guys will get it because it's like ultra limited right now. It's like 300 screens. I really don't want to get into it until more people have seen it.
Right.
Lee loved it, and I didn't. And for the exact opposite reasons. I mean, if you know anything about the original Suspiria, it's filled with color and set design and the soundtrack's just incredible. And this new Suspiria isn't. It's just very gray, very, very drab. It takes its time, and
I've had my ups and downs with the whole trailer and the coming of this new movie, because I love the original so much. I mean, it's up there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I was thinking, like, if I didn't have the original in my head, I don't know how I'd feel. I might feel a little bit better about it, but like when you say something like Suspiria, and then you don't do what Suspiria is famous for, it's just like, what are we doing here? Like, why the fuck? If it was titled something else, maybe I would. I don't know.
It's an interesting trend these days. Movies that would have been just so much better if they didn't take the time to add a name on that.
Well, it's a well-made movie. It's just not. It's not Suspiria.
Is that the only criticism you have of it, because you're referencing the original?
It's what, 40 minutes longer than the original.
Okay.
They take their time telling the story, and I don't like that.
So it's a little drawn out. Okay, I get you, and that's something that you don't really. You need to keep your attention nonstop through the whole movie.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
See, like this could be me and like my ADD, but slow movies I don't want to watch in the theater. Slow movies I like watching at home because my TV's in. If I walk to the kitchen and get a drink, I could still see the TV and know that nothing's going on while I'm going to
They're
get
still
a drink.
Sitting and talking. Yeah.
Yeah. I could.
Washing his hands after killing people with ice cream.
What happened?
I don't know. He's still washing his hands after killing people with an ice cream scoop.
That's way different.
10 minutes later.
But similar in theory, yes.
Okay, so I get it. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a movie. No matter what I hear, I'm going to watch, and I'll make my own decision on. But
from what I'm understanding, either you're going to love it or hate it.
Yeah,
that's kind of the ground it is. Because I didn't like it. I mean, it's not a bad movie. I just didn't like it.
Interesting.
I haven't seen the original Suspiria, so I haven't seen a lot of.
You guys need to see it. Yeah.
I just haven't seen it. Like I haven't seen a lot of the. Is it a giallo film or?
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't seen. I've only seen like one or two giallo films. So it's a part of film that I've missed out on a lot because I didn't watch horror when I was younger and stuff, and didn't really get into film until I was a bit older. So I'm still behind on all that.
Yeah, the Argento did for as much as I'm learning about French extremist movies, really hammering home, like they take their time with their bullshit horror. The same thing could be said for Argento and giallos as a whole. It's not just a run-of-the-mill horror. There's some gorgeous looking cinematography in that movie. It's not your run-of-the-mill horror. Which, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's any it's got this new one. It has a color palette, but it's the exact opposite of what you would expect. Lots of grays, browns. It takes place in Germany in 1977, and they have this parallel thing going on with that hijacking when they hijacked that airplane in '77, which I just couldn't make the connection.
Yeah, why would you throw that in there?
Says Suspiria 2018, very weird, and I might have fallen asleep. Yeah, it was the first half at least was just like, come on, let's go.
Well, weird is okay. I mean, that's up my alley. Yeah. I like that, but yeah, it seems like they tried, like because of the whole color thing and atmospheric type, thing to the original. But yeah, I've been intrigued with the trailer, but again. They may be showing the best parts, It's we'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't want to not watch it again. I'm just not in the theater.
Well, wait till your uncle gets it. But
yeah. Uncle Don might help us out. Yeah. So why don't we talk about the week that's coming up if we've got nothing else for last week? 3 somewhat big movies.
Oh God.
The Grinch going on 4,000 screens.
Boo.
I know. Another. I'm sorry, CP. Yeah, another Grinch movie. Jesus Christ.
And let's just be honest. The one from the early 2000s isn't that good.
Oh, it's freaking abomination. I can't even watch that thing.
I mean, it's got a couple good moments, but no, it's so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't watch it. I tried watching it when I was younger. Well, like, you know, when it came out and stuff, and when it was on DVD, I tried watching parts of it, and it made me so angry that I had to just walk away.
It's just weirdly unengaging. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Here's my
you, though,
biggest thing
CP.
about it, more than anything else. Okay.
We still got
'Cause
Spiders
I
Weapon
love-
Overlord. Go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh no, CP was running off the 3 new movies, and I interrupted him when he.
No, it's
at the
fine. It's
Grinch,
fine.
But yeah,
It's fine, dude. Don't worry about
we'll
it.
get to the other 2, right?
Yeah, that's
Nah.
never mind. Don't worry. Let's not talk about the other thing.
I know, right, Peter?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, go ahead. Don't bring us to a halt.
Something really bad about the Grinch, Peter. Now go on. What was it?
Okay, I'll be quick. I love the cartoon, like the original cartoon,
Yeah.
and the whole thing was the Grinch saves the stuff at the end because his heart grows, and he understands the meaning of Christmas. And then in the Jim Carrey one, he saves all the stuff because all of a sudden the little Cindy Lou who is supposed to be no more than 2, who's definitely not 2, is on top of the presents, and he's gonna let him go, and then he's like, oh crap, I have to save her. And so he saves the presents because she's on top of them, so it defeats the whole purpose of the whole freaking story.
I never thought of that.
Because he doesn't save the presents because he gets the meaning of Christmas. It's all about saving the little girl, and it literally misses the point of the original story completely.
It's like,
and I'm just like,
oops. Yeah.
yeah, it's just like, you know. So I'm just like I saw parts of it that bothered me. Like I haven't sat through the whole thing ever. I saw a little part here, a little part there, but then I saw that, and I'm just like, I don't need to see another part of the thing. It's like it misses the point of the movie completely. So. That's my
slasher. Oh, jeez. Okay, anyways, go ahead.
Dakota Johnson was hot as hell, though. Was Chloe Moretz in the movie at all? She was in the beginning. Why was Tilda? Yeah, the old man. Why?
Yeah, isn't it funny what bothers us about movies? It could be just like one thing, and you're like, oh,
Sure.
what the hell?
Sure.
And it blows the movie for us sometimes, but
I mean, that's how it goes, right?
yeah.
So the Grinch with Cumberbatch voicing.
Yay!
It looks entertaining. I have no interest in seeing it. But
Yeah,
it
I
looks
haven't heard
entertaining.
anything.
So Cumberbatch stars. Oh,
Yeah, he's the
wait,
Grinch.
he's the voice. Okay.
Yeah, he's the
Sorry, I'm
voice.
making fun of it. That's all. Yeah.
Don't say that to an actor.
Cumberbatch is doing a Jim Carrey in like a full green face.
Right.
And, like,
Now that's
I'd
different.
watch that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he knocked that shit out of the park. You ever watch that footage of him doing Smaug? He contorts his face and does all kinds of shit. That'd be dope.
No, it's just that's always just been a thing. It's like, starring, and it's just voice of actor. I know it adds to, the picture and all that, but I mean, come on, you can have anybody really use, their voice, but whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's kind of like what Peter was talking about. The original cartoon was more than serviceable. Like it's a great.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I mean, and sure, I guess there's a bunch of fans of the Jim Carrey version, but why are we going back to this again?
Again.
Like
Illumination animation.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lorax didn't do that well either. Which, granted, it's a little bit different, but
Yeah.
But still, yeah, they're trying, huh? They're like, yeah, let's hit the
It's
Grinch
a story
again.
that we can remake it, so why not remake it? Like, I get the people who love the Grinch, the Jim Carrey Grinch that were kids when it came out. It's the same thing as I understand the kids who love Star Wars, like who love Phantom Menace.
Lorax made a lot of money.
When it came out because they were kids. It's so, but
Lorax made 300 million, by the way. So.
all right, never mind. Now I know exactly why they're in the Grinch.
Speaking of movies that completely missed the point, fuck the Lorax.
Yeah.
I was with a girl once and we were dating for a while, and then she said, "Oh, I love the Lorax," and I was like, "Really?"
We're done.
That wasn't. It wasn't the end, but it was like, ooh.
Who are you, Jerry Seinfeld?
it was the beginning of the end, though.
Writing on the wall.
The fire
You're great, Non. I love you, but you don't like the Lorax. Bye. Yeah.
So the other somewhat large release is the girl in the spider's web with the spiders, whatever the fuck it's called.
A girl in her own tattoo of a spider's web.
It's the fourth girl in the dragon with the dragon.
Fourth?
Whatever the fuck the name of the series is.
You guys are all ripping it. It's going to be good. I can't wait to see it.
Second, it's the fourth fucking book.
So it's the second movie in America, but it's based on the fourth Swedish book.
Whoa, fuck that shit.
Yeah, it's because the original is the girl with the dragon tattoo, the girl who kicked the hornet's nest, the girl who played with fire.
Yeah,
I think that's the order.
Yeah.
You're right. Yeah.
I think that's
this girl played with fire.
Yeah. And then they remade it with David Fincher, who's a phenomenal director, but I just don't care because
I hear you.
Yeah. I care. Like, he's a great director, but I just don't care about watching the movie because I've seen the originals and I like the originals. So
same here.
And then this is the fourth book, which obviously wasn't I think it. See, the whole thing is it the fourth book? Is like the books were literally released by the guy who wrote them after he died. So
he was half done with the fourth one, so somebody else.
Oh, okay. So someone else kind of took it and.
Yeah.
It's even more of a reason to not do this one.
To not do this one. But no, it's
I think the books they've kind of spun off and done a bunch since they finished the fourth one. I think they're up to like 6 now.
Are they? I know they do that with Jason Bourne and all that kind of stuff. Like Robert Ludlum. Yeah. Robert Ludlum died, and then they're just like they just keep writing them and being like Robert Ludlum's Jason Bourne, written by so and so. So I don't know. I don't really. Who the heck is Claire Foy? Did I ask this last week?
She was in Unsane.
Okay, but other than that, what has she done?
Yeah,
because
that means nothing
she's.
to me.
I know she's in First Man. She's the wife of Man. But up until First Man and this, I've never heard her name before. And all of a sudden, she's in 2 big movies. Well, kind of big movies.
She's a very 2 years fresh name.
Yeah, like I literally until like 3 months ago, I'd never even heard of her. And now she's in 2 movies that are supposed to be kind of big, so who the heck is she? It's like, what am I missing? Like, is she done? Oh, she's done this for 3 years. And like, is she on a Netflix show that I don't know about or whatever? Like, I don't know.
Dude, she was in Vampire Academy, the movie with the poster that said "They suck at school." I did not know Claire Foy. God.
Oh no,
that's true.
Are you even like a person? Like, ugh.
That's it. That's all she was in, huh?
What else was she in? Lindsey?
I thought it was gonna be one of the Pulse movies, but it's just something else called Pulse. So. Nothing. Such a Hacks, a 2012 TV movie called Hacks.
Oh my. Well, maybe she's breaking it.
Upstairs, downstairs. That's kind of the thing.
We got a star in the making. What?
Oh, that's right, Slasher. Slasher in Suits says that the director from the Evil Dead remake, Fede Alvarez, is doing this. So there's one reason to keep your eye to it.
Oh, she was in The Lady in the Van, which is the unofficial sequel to Lady in the Water.
Ugh.
No.
Man, you're just full today, huh?
Oh, Lindsey. That was a good one.
I got the.
No, it wasn't. Don't encourage him.
No, sorry.
Yeah, too late.
For 98 cents on Blu-ray.
Wait, what'd you get for 98 cents on Blu-ray?
The Lady in the Water.
Oh.
I like that movie.
Still too much.
I don't hate it.
Okay.
I just don't. It's cheesy, but I like Paul. I can never say.
Giamatti's amazing.
I'm like, I say Giamatti sometimes and Giamatti sometimes, but he as an actor is great, like in almost everything he does.
Yeah, that's right. He was in that. Yeah.
So,
I read the book about the production of Lady in the Water. M. Night is a freaking crazy man. He's like an actual crazy person.
I like how every movie he made himself more and more important as a character. It's like starts out as a little spot in Unbreakable. He has like a small thing where he's like a drug dealer that gets away with it like for like literally 30 seconds of screen time. And then in Signs, he has like, you know,
He's the guy that kills the mom.
he's the guy who kills, but he's only got like 2 or 3 minutes of screen time. And then he's like, he gets to and in the Village. He gives himself a small role as like a security guard, and then.
Oh, okay.
And then it's like, literally, he's just like, no, I'm going to make myself the most important person in the movie.
Oh, jeez.
I'm
Trying to
so glad you
upstage
bring that up.
Hitchcock.
Who writes a book that's supposed to change the world.
I love that you bring that up, Peter, because in the book, The Man Who Heard Voices, or how M. Night gambled on a fairy tale and lost, gambled his career on a fairy tale and lost, there's a moment where they talk about that character. And the book, which is M. Night approved, like he's signed off on this, the book says that M. Night said in regards to that character, if he couldn't play that character, he wouldn't want to make the movie.
Wow.
Jesus.
M. Night approved.
He's the central character. Like, he's not the central character of the story, but he's the most important character. That, like, he is he
cast himself as a messiah character.
He's the MacGuffin of the story, basically.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
M. Night, the MacGuffin.
I'd watch a movie. I'd watch that movie.
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan's MacGuffin.
MacGuffin. And it's just all about him and how he can't act. And
he plays every character in the movie.
he plays every character. Yeah, it's like being John Malkovich. It's like, you know.
Being M. Night Shyamalan.
So the last thing that comes out wide this week is Overlord, which is really interesting because
I might actually get to see this one.
Yeah, they're calling it a horror action movie, which apparently it takes place during World War II. And
yeah, it takes place during, like, it looks like Normandy, like the D-Day drops in World War II, which is interesting because it's released on Remembrance Day weekend. Like,
oh shit, is it?
Oops.
It's like, yeah, Remembrance Day's on Sunday. So
I have not seen anything on this movie though.
Oh,
really?
I've seen a bunch of trailers for it.
I was just gonna say, I can't go to the theater without that trailer being in front of me.
Almost every movie has that trailer, but I've only seen that trailer. I know there's another one out there, but I've only seen the one trailer.
Well, that's good to know. Okay.
It looks. I want to see it. I like, you know. I saw the trailer and was just like, okay, I'm down for that. That looks entertaining. Like, you know.
Right.
It looks like a really low budget movie with high quality, like, you know, because like I've seen a bunch of movies that look that have a similar premise, like, you know, guys doing experiments, and like there's one called Frankenstein's Army, which I thought was gonna be really cool and really wasn't. But like, it's, you know, Nazis making terrible things to, you know.
It's Wolfenstein the movie is what it is.
Basically, yeah.
Ah, really? Okay.
Because apparently they're making zombies or some shit.
Yeah,
or like
they're making like super soldier zombie thingies.
Yeah.
From what I can tell.
So
a 1,000-year army needs 1,000-year soldiers.
Yeah.
1,000-year Rigas Reich.
You must crush them.
That's it. If Peter, you just watched Inglourious Basterds, you should look up
9999.
Drei Gläser.
Yes, it's funny. Every time I do that, I go, clearly I'm not German.
Yeah. Well, European. Denmark, they do this too.
Do they do that too?
Yeah.
And my daughters have always kind of laughed, and then this was the first time they got it. They went, oh, it's because I was like, you can see I'm not German.
Hey, see, Peter, be careful or someone will shoot your balls off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you know, though.
I've had my gun pointed at your nuts since you sat down.
Yeah. Oh god, it's such a good movie. It's like it's in my opinion his best movie, but that's just
Thank you.
It's in my opinion.
That's not a bad opinion. No,
I could not agree more.
I would say Hateful Eight, but that's cool. That's cool.
Hateful Eight Hateful Eight is probably 4.
So good.
It's great. Don't get me wrong.
Tarantino sucks his own dick a little bit there in the middle, where the monologue from Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, it's so great.
That's a little, dude. Come on, we get it. You know how to write. You like writing. Go ahead.
Was that monologue true or was it a lie?
Yeah,
that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. I get it. I get it.
Totally be a lie.
That's a great movie though, and it is up there. But yeah, Inglourious Basterds.
A friend of mine sent me the program for that movie, which is framed in my room.
I've got it too.
What asshole would do that?
Yeah, I know. Not mentioning any names.
UCP.
Yeah.
You know what? My favorite scene in the whole movie is the pastiche to freaking Battle Royale when the coffee gets poisoned and we don't know who poisons it.
Yeah.
And it's like people start drinking it and it's just like yeah.
There's so many good.
And you know it's a reference to Battle Royale because he said in interviews that that's his favorite movie. So it totally is. Tarantino.
I love the scene where he smashes the guitar and like she freaks out because he really smashed a real guitar by accident, thinking it was a prop.
Oh, it was an antique guitar worth like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oops.
Yeah.
Yeah. He thought he had the prop and he smashed it, and the look on her face was just like, it was like real because it's like it was the real guitar. Oh god, I love them. I love Tarantino. Like I'm showing my daughters slowly. They've seen Kill Bill 1 and 2 now, and I was like, Remembrance Day's coming up. We're watching Inglourious Bastards. It's like, I love his stuff.
And I'm sorry, Peter, you said your daughters are how old, roughly?
14 and 16.
Okay. Yeah, so they're...
I've been debating when to show them Tarantino. And they're not ready for Pulp Fiction yet. I'm not unleashing Pulp Fiction on them yet because that's a different thing. Yeah. But they're used to a certain amount of violence. So Kill Bill, they loved Kill Bill. Okay. They really enjoyed Inglourious Bastards. The only scene they kind of really went at was the very last scene where he's carving the swastika, because you literally see it, like you see it moving his skull.
Wait, people get scalped in that movie. They were all right with that?
They were all right with that. They didn't bother them at all.
When Hitler's face gets shot to fucking...
They thought that was funny. Oh man.
Okay, they're going down the path of horror love. So that's gotcha.
Yeah, no, they love like Friday the 13th and Halloween and stuff like that. So, so they were okay with that. It's just, but like listen. There's like you tell you something. You're gonna let your daughters see Tarantino movies. People go, you're a horrible parent.
It depends on the kids you're talking about. Like
funny, the kid tonight who said he loved Bohemian Rhapsody. He's 15, and I said I told them I watched Inglourious Bastards, and he goes, "Oh, I love that movie," and I'm like, "You've seen that movie?" And he's like, "Oh, I've watched it tons of times." He goes, "I love Tarantino," and I'm like, wow, okay, because I wasn't like, a lot of the other guys haven't seen Tarantino in my group, but he's seen a bunch of them, so like, oh, okay, so I'm not as terrible a parent, I guess. I don't know.
No.
But whatever. My daughters have seen. The thing is, I'm not just dropping like an average 15-year-old or 14-year-old in this. My daughters have seen a lot. Like they've seen a lot of films to prepare them for this kind of stuff. So it's like there's a learning curve. So I wonder if Zion's talking in the chat. She might be.
What's up, Sasha? Sasha says, my least favorite Tarantino film, Inglourious Bastards.
Least favorite, huh?
True Romance is the best Tarantino movie, The Sicilian Scene. Yes, another...
Not a Tarantino film, though.
He wrote it.
So, he wrote it. It's not a Tarantino film. He would have shot it differently.
I was just going to say, I'll tell you what, I'd like to see Tarantino direct that movie because it would certainly look way different.
Like, it's the same thing. I wouldn't call From Dusk Till Dawn a Tarantino film, even though he wrote that one too.
Yeah.
It's not a Tarantino film. It's
the same thing with Natural Born Killers, except they kind of butchered that script. Yeah.
So you can write it, but it doesn't make it your film. Your film if you direct it. At least in my opinion.
Actually, that's a really good thing to say the week that Bohemian Rhapsody came out, because it's credited as a Bryan Singer movie, but he wasn't there for the final 3 weeks of shooting.
Yeah.
And this other guy oversaw all of post-production. So is it Bryan Singer's movie or is it this other guy's movie?
Well, it's same as
Justice League.
Justice League is a Zack Snyder film, which is not a Zack Snyder film.
Yeah. The reason why Snyder got Justice League and Singer got Bohemian is just because of some clause in the Directors Guild union contract. I don't know the specifics of it, but
probably
it's literally a
if
technicality.
You've shot 51% of of that. Yeah, you have to get credit because you've done more film than anyone else in the so something like that probably.
So I love the arbitrariness of that. If you shot 51%. Not 60, not like an actual majority. No, we need to measure out 51%. I hope it's that. I really do.
Yeah.
So the week that's coming, Dino, you and I tied last week for some miraculous reason, you had fucking
Dingers.
Stars Born in fourth.
Because I still had belief in that film.
I don't know how the fuck you did that, but you're
Don't
ahead
be
on
upset,
points.
CP.
Dude, I've been trying to catch up
Sorry.
for like 3 weeks now. It's frustrating. Like I said, I looked at it really quickly Sunday. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get 2, and Dino's only gonna get 1. But I didn't even pay attention to that fucking 4th place thing. I was just like, what? So anyway, you're ahead. We're tied. So you get to go first
Oh, jeez.
in picking the upcoming weekend, which I
Yeah.
don't know.
Well, I think we all know. I think. Well, maybe not.
Do we?
My number 1 will be the Grinch, of course. I mean, jeez, come on.
You're a predictable one.
Yeah.
Mr. Dino.
Yes.
You're really.
I know, I'm
hitting
gambling,
it
ain't I,
on the
Lindsay?
head.
Yeah. Okay, so number 2, I'm going to stick with Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, okay.
Now, this is where it got a little complicated. But what I'm going to do is number 3, I'm going with The Girl in the Spider's Web. And number 4, I'm going to go with Overlord. Even though something tells me that's going to be fighting with Nutcracker still. But, Oh, I should shut up. I should shut up. Yeah. Sorry.
Hey, can
Yeah,
you
we
do
went
that
at-
one more
You
time,
reprimand me every week about
It's
that.
Grinch, Bohemian, Girl, Overlord.
Yeah.
Girl Overlord. Okay. Get it, CP.
I will say.
The CP Halloween's going to make a comeback.
I will
For
say
number
First
Grinch
and
1.
second place. Okay.
Grinch 1, Bohemian 2,
Oh, jeez.
Nutcracker 3,
See, I shut my mouth.
Girl 4.
Oh.
Really?
No.
No, that was kind of, yeah, I mean, it could go, 3, 4, and down could go. I think that's the mixed bag here.
Dude, I could even see Bohemian repeating. Like, seriously?
Yeah.
Like,
Really?
I could see
Yeah?
Grinch not making 22 million or some shit like that.
Yeah.
It's weird. We got 3 wide releases 2 weeks in a row. It's
Yeah.
Sexy Monkey said, I did not know the new dragon tattoo had been filmed, let alone completed.
yeah, it's done. It's ready to be
It's
watched.
coming out on Friday.
That's like me when I found out that there was a Cinderella 3. I was like, there was a Cinderella 2?
Yeah.
Yes, there was.
Oh, yeah,
my.
you've probably seen them all, haven't you?
Sadly, yes.
I'm sorry, sir.
There are
I'll probably have to see them one day. They're
No, you won't. At that point, you.
Peter, you're ahead.
Go ahead, Peter.
So you gotta go.
All right, so Grinch,
Yeah.
Bohemian, Spiderweb, Girl, whatever,
Damn you.
Nutcracker.
Oh.
Thought we were going to have to pick a
Nutcracker's going to
fifth.
let me down again, so it's okay. I think Overlord, as much as I want it to do well, I don't think it will do well. It doesn't have really bankable cast. Like it's got no major talent behind it.
That's what I'm
It's
worried
got
about, yeah.
it's like the biggest name in the film is J.J. Abrams, who's the producer. He's not even directing it. It's now saying that it looks good. It looks interesting. It looks like entertaining. But it I think is Russell's kid in there.
Russell's
Kurt
kid.
Russell.
Russell.
Is it Kurt Russell's kid? Who's
Really?
who's in Overlord? I think it's Kurt Russell's kid.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I did
I'll
not
have to
know
check.
his kid was even acting.
Oh yeah. He is him. It's funny. I want to fight between his kid and Scott Eastwood. I want to see Clint Eastwood's kid and
Yeah.
Kurt Russell's kid beat the shit out of each other.
Generic
be
white
great.
faces. Like.
Dino, Lindsay.
Oh, I've already got mine. So I'm going Grinch because I hate myself and the entire existence of mankind can get wiped from reality for all I care.
that.
Then Bohemian Rhapsody.
Uh-huh.
Spiderweb, Overlord.
Oh,
Okay.
so you're
Wait,
making
wait.
you're making me and you, Lindsay, go to a fifth then.
Yeah, Dino 5.
Oh, we are. Oh, fuck. I didn't realize that, but okay.
God dang it. Well,
sorry,
I
sir.
pick.
Balls.
I'm gonna say Nutcracker at fifth. You should say Halloween, Lindsay. Just saying.
Say Nutcracker at 5th. Go all the way up to 10.
No.
Star is Born 5th.
Oh, okay.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
You take your own movie from you, Dino.
Yeah. Oh, geez, I'll be pissed.
Overlord has the main guy is Wyatt Russell, which
Wyatt
is
Russell.
Wyatt Russell.
Sorry.
No, not White Russell. Wyatt.
Wyatt.
Wow.
As in
Good
Wyatt
Not
Earp.
just asshole. Okay.
Wyatt are we talking about him still?
I'm just saying. Well, I'm just. Well,
As
Oh,
in
so
Wyatt
you can make
Earp,
that joke, but
No.
I can't
yeah,
make
it's
mine.
Wyatt Earp. That's why he's
because he's a
literally
big
called Wyatt
Western
Earp.
fan. Yeah. Kurt Russell.
Well, no,
Oh,
he played Wyatt Earp. Like,
Right,
he played
right.
Tombstone, best Western ever.
Okay.
Was Wyatt conceived during that movie, maybe?
Probably.
Hey, yay.
You win a prize, CP.
I still think I'd like to see a fight between him and Scott Eastwood.
Hello, Noise. Hello, John. Hello, Robbie. Slasher and Shoots says, is Overlord a horror movie, horror action, war movie? It's listed as a horror action.
It's a horror action / little bit of war. Like, war is the backdrop more than war itself.
It takes place in World War II.
It's
Apparently.
a horror
War II.
action / war / drama. Okay,
Yeah.
Lindsay, add on to it.
Porno.
Oh, geez, yeah. So it's all of that.
Yeah.
And more.
/ period piece.
That 1,000-year Reich is, a thing to behold.
1,000-year boner means 1,000-year orgasms.
Otherwise known as what? 4 years?
Wow.
How long? How long did the Reich last? Was it even 5?
8 years?
Oh, are we counting pre-World War II?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good point. Wait, how long did the Third Reich
I think
last?
you can only count from when he says the words 1,000-year Reich to when they're ending. So it had to be less than 5, I'm thinking.
That's
12 years.
Yeah.
33 to 45.
Bullshit.
33 to
Man.
45.
When he actually said we want a 1,000-year Reich?
Yeah,
was in
because the
33?
World War One. I mean, he started to have some kind of influence on everything. So
Yeah.
He fought in
No,
World War One.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
World
he
War,
did.
he was a
He fought in it. He was
yeah,
a
he
fighter.
fought in it, but he was just like a normal guy. He wasn't like a big up guy. It wasn't until like afterwards when he stopped painting. So
I will
see.
revisit the past. Yeah,
I gotta find this out now.
Yeah, I forget exactly when. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, what an interesting
The
week.
Fourth, right? There was news actually.
Hey, the
News what?
windows didn't flip out, you guys, just at the very beginning. So this, hopefully, we can keep Peter small here. This
Yeah.
is good. But I better shut up. Oh, go ahead. Now what? CP, you say something? Oh, what?
And now I'm skipping.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is everything okay?
Yeah, my computer doesn't like me doing 2 things at once.
Oh, I was wondering why you froze up there. Yeah.
So Shrek is getting a reboot.
I heard that.
Oh, I didn't realize
Shrek.
that.
Reboot. So they're gonna redo the first movie, or just reimagine the
Yeah,
movie,
I don't-
whatever.
It's not like anybody that voiced anything important is gone. Just make a sequel. Like what?
Oh,
mean-
what is wrong with Hollywood? Jesus Christ.
Where do you begin when answering that question?
Yeah.
Fuck, I had it. I had something opened in China to big time money. Well, for China last weekend, and I can't fucking find it.
Really?
It was either Nutcracker or whatever came out the week before.
Nutcracker didn't do too good.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What do we got next? We got Fantastic Beasts, The Crimes of Grindelwald.
That's not this week. That's next week, right?
Next week. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The 13th, and some film called Instant Family and Widows.
Yeah.
Huh.
Widows looks good.
Does it? Okay.
It's
crime thriller. Okay.
It's Steve McQueen, and it's all about a group of criminals that basically die and their wives take over doing their next job, like the widows.
Oh yeah, that one. That actually does look interesting.
It looks pretty good. It's Steve McQueen. It's he's a good director.
Cool.
Yeah.
Steve
China.
McQueen. He directed 12 Years a Slave.
Yeah.
Yeah, SAP China.
China. It was 12 million for Nutcracker this weekend.
Really?
Okay.
That was the big
hit in China. Come on, CP. Everybody freezing up. Come on back. And yeah, if everybody don't come back in a second, because I think everybody might be frozen. You got the right Sriracha. Am I the only one frozen up, you guys? Let me know. If not, I think we'll end this. So yeah, that's it, you guys, for this week's show business. And we will see you guys next week. Later.